Before we get together to discuss integrating technology into our TESL classes, I want to share with you a short presentation on the flipped classroom. My intent with this screencast is not to provide a comprehensive explanation of the flipped classroom, but rather to prompt you to consider what questions you might have about flipping your own class and what support you might need in order to decide to try it. The first time I heard about flipped classroom was in reference to a math class. The instructor prepared a short video lecture explaining a concept. The students watched the video at home before coming to class, and then they worked in class to solve the problems, collaborating with each other, and the teacher was available to help them, to explain when they got into trouble, to provide prompts, etc. But my question is, what if we aren't solving math problems? I still ask students to prepare for class by watching a video that's relative to what we're talking about, doing some reading out of the book, researching a topic, etc. Then we use our class time to evaluate the information they found, apply it, do some problem solving, create some answers, create a presentation, discuss, etc. But the key is to create interaction for them that is challenging, relevant, and meaningful. Does it truly look different than what you're doing in your current class? And why would you want to consider it? Well, techniques are supported by research. Flipped activities have been identified as those that employers want to see in the 21st century skills from students that we graduate. They want to see collaboration, they want problem solving, critical thinking, teamwork, innovation, reasoning. All of these are good ideas. My real reason, what I really like about flipping is students are active participants in the learning process. Some activities that you might consider are listed below, and I've done many of these. I'm happy to share with you how it's worked, how some of these have really been interactive, what they look like in my classroom. So please feel free to ask me. If this idea is still intriguing or interests you and you're considering it, well, what's next? I recommend that you start by just flipping one activity or one lesson. Don't take on flipping your whole class. So, if you decide that maybe flipping a lesson sounds like a great idea, where do you start and what happens? I would recommend a lesson that needs to be interactive, a topic that encourages deeper thought or discussion, maybe a lesson you've always wanted to try but never had the time for, a lesson where students struggle to understand a concept, something that's difficult. Or with the place I started, I had a couple lessons that were just plain boring for me and for students. So, once you've identified a lesson that could be a possibility, do some backward planning. Start at the end. What are the lasting concepts or the key concepts you want them to take away? What do you want them to know and remember? What do you want them to be able to do with this information at the end of the lesson or the activity? Or there may be something that you've taught in the past that students just have trouble with. It's a difficult idea, it's problematic. Those are good lessons to start with. Some that you would think maybe need some creativity or need some dressing up. So, you have identified a lesson, you've got a topic in mind. Now comes the nitty-gritty part of it, the details, the planning, and these are some questions to consider. What will the student interaction or activity look like? What are they going to do? What will students need to know before class in order to reach the outcome that you've decided upon? What resources do you need to provide for them? What do they need to do before they come to class? How much time do you need to allocate for various parts of the instruction? How How soon do they need to start preparing for this? What do they need to do to practice? What about feedback? Are you going to build that into class, or will that come after class? What's the best use of your time during class to help them reach their outcome? And finally, yes, you still need to think about how will you evaluate student work, participation? How will this lead into the next lesson? Will you have them do a reflection? I do include reflection, and I ask them to reflect on both the content that they've learned and also the process. And that's how I lead into the next steps or the next lesson. So, the next step is up to you if you want to try this. Consider what questions you still have about the process of flipping your lesson, about the activities that might be included online, about the technology aspect, and how did I really do that if I wanted to include a Socratic discussion, or what the heck is a gallery walk? I'm happy to share with you my experiences and my projects and my ideas, but I really would like to know what you would like to try, what your ideas are for flipping, and really what questions you still have.